The Man with the Yin-Yang Eyes. Season 2. Episode 8. I just discovered that pile of hair under the water, so I was quite surprised. Before I could react, the hair grabbed my legs. I pulled me down with a very strong force. I was dragged deep into the water, did not have time to prepare, so the pool water kept rushing into my mouth and nose, suffocating me. After a few seconds of being suddenly filled with water, I finally calmed down and tried to open my eyes wide to observe the underwater situation. A water ghost clutched my legs. The black hair that I saw earlier was her hair. Her face was twisted in a scary way. Just like the previous case of missing boys and girls, this time, when I touch the ghost and look at her, I also seem to be able to see her memories before she died, which is very beneficial to solve these strange cases. The ghost's memory gradually entered my mind. I saw her swimming in a private swimming pool. That must be Louis' swimming pool, so this is the memory of the day the murder happened. "Hello, beauty. Have you been swimming for a while now?" Suddenly, Louis, the owner of this swimming pool, appeared behind the girl. "What a shame, beauty without a boyfriend. Why do you always come here alone? Or let me be your boyfriend for a day." Louis suddenly turned into a pervert, teasing the girl, which surprised me very much, and also made me seem to understand something. "What are you doing here?" "Of course, to play with you, beauty. Why do you ask?" "Come on, let me be your boyfriend for a day, okay?" "Your resistance is futile. Right here is just me with you, and there are none nearby." Louis is getting closer and closer and wants to play tricks with the girl. What a dick. Of course, the girl couldn't accept this. She fought back with all her might, shouting at Louis to leave. But as expected, just like he said, even if the girl screams until her throat is hoarse, no one will ever come to help. Only the empty swimming pool echoes the girl's helpless screams. The strength of a man is much stronger than that of a girl, but the girl also fights back fiercely, so Louis still couldn't do anything to the girl. After a while, he angrily grabbed the girl's hair and then grabbed her head and pushed her deep into the water. After a long while, he released the girl and leisurely climbed ashore and went straight out. And the girl in the water had stopped breathing. Her dead body was floating on the surface of the water. I don't know what Louis did with the camera to get an alibi and prevent the police from seeing this footage, but from what I've seen so far, he's definitely a cold-blood murderer. The memory ended. In front of my eyes now is the image of a fierce ghost who wants to drown me. Although I sympathize with that girl, but the girl now turned into this vengeful ghost and wants to kill me, I can't help but protest. I quickly reached behind my back and searched the back of my pants. Before going into the pool, I hid a few coins in the back of my pants, and sure enough, it worked. I clasped the coin in my 2 fingers and chanted a spell. Then, while the ghost wasn't paying attention, I flipped the coin at her. Unfortunately, due to the pressure in the water, the momentum on the coin is greatly reduced. But fortunately, the force of the path was still effective. The coin hit the ghost's hand, causing her pain to force her to let go of my leg. The place hit by the coin also turned into a light black smoke. I took advantage of when the ghost was in pain and could not react to rise to the surface quickly. Big D. When I came to the surface, the ghost also recovered and continued to attack me. She manipulated the hair around my neck to wrap around my face in an attempt to pull me down again. "How are you?" "The sword. Give me the sword. What did you say?" "Now what to do?" I tried to scream vulture in a voice full of harsh interrupted with Big D. I wanted him to get me the blessed sword from his toolbox, but he didn't seem to have heard yet. "Give me the fucking sword. That damn hair is getting broader and broader, and it's getting tighter and tighter. I'm going to be unable to resist." So I shouted at Big D with all my might. I heard "Yaw, blessed sword, blessed sword. Where is it? Please wait for me for a moment. Thank goodness the fat guy finally heard what I said. He quickly ran to the toolbox and looked for it. Finally, Big D found the blessed sword. He stood up and pulled it out of the case. Take this. Big D crouched down a bit and threw the blessed sword at me, but it was a bit off. He was planning to assassinate me or what? He aimed it right in the middle of my forehead and threw it. As the sword approached, I leaned slightly to avoid it and gripped the sword tightly in my hand. Ah, finally, there is a reliable weapon to fight that long-haired ghost. Let go of me, I shouted and waved the sword in my hand. I've got to cut off this disgusting strand of hair first. I almost suffocated. I spun around, waved my blessed sword a few times, finally getting rid of the obnoxious hair that had been entangled with me. Oh damn, women's hearts are indeed unpredictable, even when she's dead. The ghost saw that she could not win over me, so she started playing tricks. Under the water, long strands of hair were creeping from my feet to my thighs, up to my groin, then tightly wrapped around my sensitive spot. Damn it, what kind of cruel game is this? I'm still a virgin. I can't predict that the ghost still has this dirty trick. The pain below made me go pale, being in the freezing cold water, but I could feel the waves of sweat. I couldn't resist this move, so I was dragged under the water again by the ghost. Below, the ghost was still waiting for me with her twisted, fiercely face. Waves of long black hair weaving through the water, approaching me, waiting to attack me. It's hard to imagine how a beautiful girl would turn into such a scary ghost when she died. I gripped the blessed sword tightly, held it in front of me, and intended to recite a few spells. But before I could do anything, the ghost controlled the hair wrapped around my body. Maybe she knew that wrapping around my legs couldn't do anything to me, so this time she wrapped my whole face and body, wrapping me like an Egyptian mummy. In the moment of danger, Simmons's words suddenly resounded in my head. He once taught me that if you can't resist the ghosts that are too strong, bite your own tongue. The pain will keep you awake, and living humans' fresh blood will also make those ghosts suffer. I did as my master told me, biting my tongue. Then, when I felt the fresh blood in my mouth, I felt much more awake. The tangled hair no longer bothered me anymore. Once I had freed my consciousness from the bondage, I firmly grasped the blessed sword with both hands, held it in front of me, and recited an incantation in my mind. Then, waves of water in the pool suddenly erupted violently. Just like the ocean waves, water splashed everywhere. Oh, so strong, really has the style of my brother. I followed the rising water and jumped up high. That strand of hair was also struggling with the water. Big D is standing dumbfounded by what is happening. I relied on the force of the water to quickly jump to the shore. Ghost right there is quite clever. It's seeing that can't do anything to me. Then, it immediately changes the target. While none of us was paying attention, it controlled the hair wrapped around Big D's ankles. Ah, Gregory, save me. The ghost wants to drag me down. After wrapping a few loops around Big D's ankles, the hair tied up and then began to drag him into the water. Big D panicked and called for help. Get me the fucking trigram mirrors. When I saw that the situation was not right, I quickly reacted. I turned around, used the blessed sword to cut off the hair, then asked Big D to find the trigram mirror. The mirror of trigrams, the mirror of trigrams, where are they, where are they? While Big D was still searching for a mirror in his mess, I was trying my best to fight the ghost, or more accurately, fighting with that damn hair. The blessed sword in my hand is swinging wildly. Here's the mirror. While I was fighting, Big D suddenly threw mirrors at me. Oh my, indeed, I'm not afraid of opponents like a god. I'm just afraid of teammates like pigs. He threw the mirror at me for no reason. He should have thrown it in the water. Like he doesn't have any basic knowledge. I don't know how he is the disciple of my master's teacher. It's true that when you're confused, you're even more confused. Luckily my mind turned around. I quickly used my hands, feet, and head to push the pieces of the trigram mirror into the lake, surrounding the water ghost in a circle. Use your head to push that hard thing. It hurts to death. Accept your fate, ghost. I let out a shout, then aimed at the glass skylight and threw the blessed sword forcefully. The blessed sword was quickly sucked into the center of the skylight. Then, a few trigrams of mirrors shone down with a bright, hot golden light from above. So we have subdued the water ghost then? Big D asked. Yes, we have. Big D and I stood on the shore and watched what happened. Now I can breathe a sigh of relief. Next, a circle of trigrams above the water was formed. After we have created this, it was only a small matter to subdue the other ghost. As expected, the ghost and her hair only struggled for a while. Then the ghost screamed and turned into waves of black smoke that was sucked into the skylight. You can rest assured, I will claim justice for your death. I saw that the ghost was completely subdued. I looked up at the skylight and said, "It's done here, now I'm going to meet the murderer. It is time for the play to end. Big D, you don't need to follow me. First go and call the police to come." "Oh, you came here, so everything at that pool was solved, right?" "Oh, that's right." The murderer seemed delighted to see me coming. He probably thinks his crimes are buried forever. "Ha, it's not that easy." "That's great. You're really talented. I will definitely pay you a fair amount, I appreciate it. But this fire card pendant is not good for you at all. If you keep wearing it like this, your business will be in trouble even more." While the other guy was rambling on about my merits, I approached him, picked up the card, and said a few words aimed at his flame-shaped talisman. "First, take off that necklace, then light a scented incense. I will do a little magic to help you get rid of bad luck." My eyes flashed a sly light, then spoke to the murderer. "Young man, you are indeed my savior. You are so thoughtful. I will definitely reward you after this incident. Ha! You should light the incense first." I took out candy and put it in my mouth while waiting for a good show to happen. The show has begun. As soon as the incense was lit, the murderer felt something was wrong. At the feet of him began to have water, each wave rising, making his face pale. "What happened? Please help me." The water rose so fast that it soon engulfed him. When the water had flooded the room, the ghost suddenly appeared behind the murderer. "Help, please help me." Even though I subdued the ghost, I still kept some remnants of her soul so she could take revenge on her own. The murderer pees on his pants with trembling hands, constantly begging me. "You tell the truth about the death of that young girl in your swimming pool, and I will save you." I will tell all. I killed that girl. I made a deal with Lewis. Sure enough, for his life, he confessed all his evil deeds. Exactly what I saw in the ghost's memory, only adding the part of editing the camera. As for the death of the sanitation worker, it must have been caused by the ghost to satisfy her resentment. Thank you for helping police solve another difficult case. It's okay. It is his duty. The police who came to arrest the murderer this time turned out to be an acquaintance. The pretty policewoman smiled and thanked me. Before I could say anything, Big D had already said it instead. While Lewis confessed, the police were already ambushed outside and heard everything. I don't mean to help the police either. I just want to claim justice for the dead. I've been tired for a long time. I'm so sleepy. I have to go home to sleep. You two want to talk? Just stay and talk. I'll call a taxi. My work is done here. I don't want to say anything more. I just want to go back to sleep. I want to ask you to help me with another case. It seems the beautiful policewoman has fully acknowledged my abilities. Before I left, Officer Valentine called me back and said she needed my help. This case is also related to someone's life. I suspect it's not caused by humans. Well, I really don't want to get involved with the police here at all. I have a serious headache. I need to rest a bit. I have to go back to sleep today. Come and find me later. We'll talk about this. Although I don't want to have anything to do with the police, what Miss Valentine said makes me unable to ignore it.